We're having cereal for dinner because I wanted it, and also I've been sick and I can't taste anything, which nobody cares about, so I won't talk about that for longer than 2 seconds. But I put sunflower cereal, raspberries, blueberries, peanut butter, milk. Is there anything? Maple syrup. That's what's in here, and I'm really excited about it. Senna, excuse me, buddy. Oh my goodness. Why do you guys play so rough at night? Bless you. I bought trousers today. That was really exciting. And I also discovered that I don't think I appreciate how intimate of a shopping experience some brands provide, because I'll be in the dressing room and they're knocking on my door every 5 seconds. Let me see, I want to see. And that's kind of nice that they pay attention to you, but at the same time, that's a lot of pressure. I can't change that quickly. And then I walk out and my hair looks like Matthew McConaughey because I've been putting hoodies on and off, and it's just not my favorite thing to do. But nevertheless, I found trousers, which was great because I own very few pairs of pants, because I think I went through a 4 or 5 year long phase where I just simply wasn't wearing pants. I was essentially Winnie the Poohing all over the place. I wore skirts and shorts, but never pants. Anyways, now I have pants, so that's exciting. And I need to figure out what I'm doing for spring break, because I want to go to Seattle forever. But then I start to imagine what the summer's going to be like, because I appreciate the proximity to New York City from where I currently am, and I have this illusion of just wandering the sweaty summer streets of New York, allowing my trajectory to be dictated by where the nearest Van Leeuwen ice cream is. And that's not realistic to base where I'm going to live on the density of popular ice cream locations. So I need to figure out what I'm doing, because if I don't go to Seattle, at least for spring break, I might end up doing what I did over winter break, which was fine during winter break because it was freezing outside, but I don't want to do that again during spring break, because what I did was see every movie that was in the theaters, because I hadn't been to a movie in years, so I just decided to see all of them. And Gladiator 2, I saw that 3 times. I saw Wicked 3 times. I saw a lot of really good movies, actually. I don't think I saw a bad movie, but I just don't want to do that again. And I don't know why I was so opposed to going to movies before that, because I really enjoy movies. Maybe it had something to do with devoting that much time sitting in darkness. Because it's not like I fear wasting time necessarily. Like, even if it's a bad movie, I don't think that would bother me so much as just like being in the dark in a bad movie. But that's essentially the same thing. But I don't fear wasted time, and I know that because I have met people who do, and I enjoy the time it takes to get places. I enjoy sitting in traffic, normally because I'm not the one driving, so that's not a fair point. But I like that we're forced to do nothing sometimes. I'm forced to do nothing sometimes. And I'm forced to be in boredom, because that's where I have good ideas. Sometimes, we hope. But another good example of that is actually one time my dad drove an hour and a half because we wanted Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and there's only one location in this state, and it happens to be very far away from where we live, but we drove there, and it was fun because we got Ben & Jerry's, and that's why we went there, and that's what we did, and it was not the most productive use of time, but it was really enjoyable, and it was pouring rain. What's my point? I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do for spring break. Hopefully. Senna, buddy. Senna likes to bite Saoirse's ankles, like she's a cow, and I really don't think that she likes it. You guys are a little bit crazy. I went to Costco yesterday, which only left me with one question. Their system, where the cart has to go on the side of the cashier, people are leaving their children in that little basket thing, and I don't know if that's the best idea. Like, I love that we are trusting the Costco people and the other people around, but also, oh my gosh, Santa, come here. Also, I just don't think that that's necessary. That's not the biggest issue in the world, though. Nobody cares about that. Take a bowl away. That's about all that's happening. Oh, I saw my old German professor on Friday, which was actually really helpful because I always seem to run into her when I need to be recentered somehow, which is often. But she has a very pragmatic worldview, meaning that you cannot take anything she says personally. And I need that sometimes because on Friday especially, I think I was taking everything personally and it was just, I was allowing it to ruin my life essentially, which is not necessary. And I don't even remember what was happening. No, I think that it was just a pile of things that didn't matter. But I guess the primary thing that it made me realize is that I'm not as okay with some things that I tell myself I am okay with. For example, when I already know when I start to verbalize this, it's going to sound categorically irrelevant, but nevertheless, when I tell somebody about a book or a movie or just anything that I like, when I tell a friend about something that I enjoy that I think they will also enjoy, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up, I'm not bringing it up to just give some speech about something that I love and then bore everybody to death. It's because I think that they will also benefit from it. And then if we have this conversation and they come back to me days later or weeks later and they represent whatever I told them about to me as if it was a novel concept, as if they just completely forgot we had that conversation, I take that very personally because I feel like I don't know what that feeling is. It's not a big deal, which is why it's hard for me to reconcile the level of emotion that I'm experiencing with like what is actually happening. But it's just disappointing because I thought we were going to discuss this together. I've already seen this movie that you're telling me to go see. I told you to go see it, but like then why did you go see it? I don't know. And it's not I just keep saying the same thing. It's not a big deal. I think it's just a reminder that everybody expresses love in different ways, which is fine, and that's kind of the point because then we get to learn people. But I don't know. Basically, she gave me a world perspective and we talked about some global events that reminded me that my problems are not very significant compared to what's happening elsewhere, which is true. That's not to invalidate my own issues because they're very valid. They just don't need to be always happening at the forefront of my brain. Senna's back at it with his log. But I think actually, I need to stop talking about this, but now that I think about it, I think because I naturally remember very minute details about people, and it's only, I mean, partially it's because I want to know someone and I want to understand them, but the other part of it is just because that's how my brain naturally coalesces a caricature of them in my memory so that I remember them, like this person with this color scarf from this place because they told me that story. And then when other people don't remember the tiny details about me, such as the movie that I told them about 5 months ago, it's shocking for no reason. But that's okay, because it is okay. Saoirse barked at somebody today, and then she felt very bad about it. Oh, I changed my mind about something. I changed my mind about people that drive cybertrucks because it's pretty popular to immediately see one and say, that's the ugliest car I've ever seen, because that's the correct opinion to have. But after that one man from the Los Angeles fires news video found his doggies, and he had such a human, childlike reaction, it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen, and I instantly started crying, which I don't cry. It's not quite that automatic for me, but when he found his dogs. And he drove a cybertruck for some reason. So first of all, these dogs are being carted around in a massive robot tank, but that's none of my business. They're living their best life. Now they are, after they found him. But he changed my mind. Except if there's a detail on the Cybertruck that makes me change my mind, that's still okay. It's just not a generalization that I'll apply to all Cybertrucks automatically. But there was one that I saw yesterday. Senna, come here, buddy. It said Cyber Beast, and I was really excited to see who the driver is, because I'm always so curious, because they look like such normal people, because they are, but then they drive. I finally ran out of storage while I was talking, which, like, thank God, because I don't remember what I was saying. But anywho's, I'm not done with my cereal yet, so we have to keep going. For Sana. Sana, do you want this? Oh, I've noticed something at cafes that could be a pre-existing, since the beginning of time, concept that I'm only just now becoming aware of, but I think it's kind of adorable. People are bringing their coffee mugs from home, which I suppose is good for the environment, but it's also just kind of cozy, because now you have your own coffee mug. Plus, I think people's coffee mugs are really interesting because they're usually from somewhere, but I don't know what my point is. I like that people are bringing their coffee mugs places. But it seems inconvenient in the sense that it doesn't have a lid and it's also not very big. Some of them. Oh boy. Saoirse stole your bone. Okay. Now I think it's time to finish my cereal and take a shower. And then who knows what. Oh, I started a new book. That's what's happening. Very exciting things. Actually, it is. It is a very exciting thing. I'm really excited about this book. Hi. It's a history of the cognitive revolution, which we could use another one of those, to be honest. Oh, buddy. This is what I always do on phone calls. I say, I'm gonna go, and then I keep just not doing that. I'll start talking about something else. Or just sit there in silence. If I do that with my dad, though, we would be on the phone until next year, because that man will not hit end. I have to do it if the phone call is going to be over. but that's okay. Because I love him very dearly. Saoirse? Oh, something else that I just really love, because I'm talking about things I like now. I love seeing the insides of people's backpacks, which sounds really nosy, like I'm always in people's business, which is like semi-true, but in class, people are rummaging through their stuff all the time, and it's impossible not to people watch. And there's this one girl that has this giant tote, and then she has a medium-sized tote inside of that, which has all of these little microscopic pouches, and one's for her tissues, and one's for her headphones, and one's for her pencils, and it's a system that I admire. I don't have it, and I don't think that I want it, but I love how intentional each piece of accessory she has is. Like, they all have a purpose. And she's also the kind of person that wears scarves, which I think is a very active, intentional decision, because I don't think I've ever worn a scarf without it being me complying with somebody else's recommendation that I'd be too cold otherwise. And it takes a lot of effort to choose a scarf. So I admire people that wear those. I also would get kind of annoyed. I used to wear a scarf to school sometimes, but then it would get the fuzzy furry things all over my coats, and I wouldn't like that. So not for me. And also, I'm ever perplexed by the phase that was the infinity scarf, because, well, that's a whole different genre I don't need to talk about. I don't need to categorize people like that, because that's actually wrong. People that wear infinity scarves are complex individuals. Okay, my phone keeps telling me that I'm running out of storage, so I'm here to say goodbye from me and the doggies.